Hello and welcome to the Hanging with Humans podcast. It's me, RJ. I'm with one of my very, very, very close friends. We've known each other, come to find out, we calculated 2025 would be our 10-year friendship anniversary.
Yeah, we're coming up on 10 years
of friendship. It's pretty wild. We'll get into how that came to be, but today I'm here at Elysium Studios in Grand Junction, Colorado, and I'm going to be talking to my good friend, Autumn Hudson. Say hello, Autumn.
Hi.
Autumn, my friend for 9 years. I wanna tell everybody kind of like how we met, and then no, not that. How we got from how our friendship, like from point A to how we got to point B, which is here, but the evolution and the growth and the changes that occurred in that time frame is what I'm really after.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions because I love interviewing people, and I like to get to know my friends better. And so we're gonna start with that. So, Autumn, where are you from? And wait, first, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I mean, I tattooed for 3 days in a row on your back, but you're sitting here amazingly still alive.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy because it's rough. Getting a back piece for 3 days in a row is not an easy task. So, you're a badass.
Thank you so much. That's the second time I heard that today, and that's...
Yeah, and I don't call just anybody a badass either.
I know, you used to call me a pussy.
I did, because you were, but you're not anymore.
That's all good. And we all level up, we all grow, we all evolve. That's where I'm at. I think a lot of the things that you taught me, like I don't listen to everyone's advice, I know, but you know what you're talking about when it comes to tattooing, and everything you told me, like, hey, don't do this, it turned out to be the right thing. So,
right, you could argue me all you want, but promise, I know some things. I've been doing it for a second.
Yes, you have, and we're going to get into how you started that and everything, and I'm really excited. And I know a lot of other people are excited, because I have friends that started tattooing after they seen the kind of work that was being done on me by you. So you have followers all over the place.
Oh, that's so cool to hear.
Yeah. So let's start off with kind of where you're from and what was life like growing up there, and like kind of like what your childhood looked like a little bit before we go to high school where things turned. Yeah, I'd like to know what leads up to that, what kind of kid you were and things like that.
Okay, well, I was born in Bozeman, Montana, Bozeman Deaconess Hospital. It was under construction, so I was actually born in the hallway.
Whoa. Nice.
Yeah, mom, legs spread right in the hallway of Bozeman Deaconess. But I grew up in Manhattan, Montana, which is a very, very tiny town in Montana. Now when people ask where I'm from, I say Manhattan. I have to constantly tell them not New York. I have to mention Montana because it's not a place a lot of people know about.
Yeah. It's those two Manhattans are completely...
They're very different. The Manhattan I grew up in, it had a train track and a half of a main street. Like, it didn't even have both sides of it. I think it was under 1,000 people when I was growing up there. I think it's over 1,000 now, finally, but...
Dang. Well, it's like outskirts of Bozeman and...
Belgrade. It's like 45 minutes away from Bozeman. It's pretty small, but like it's not the smallest town in Montana. Yeah, you can get smaller.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of small towns in Montana. I love them. So what's it like growing up there?
It was kind of wild. We lived in an area in between a lot of dairy farms. So when I was little, I didn't really have friends because our closest neighbor was a mile away. So trying to find kids my age was impossible. So I grew up very creative and very finding anything I could to like play by myself.
Yeah, keep yourself occupied.
Which is cool. Like, I don't know, I made entire houses and the long grass and our 5 acres of land, and like named all the fucking cows that were next door, you know? I had a very wild imagination because I was very alone. Like, my parents were working all the time, and my sister hated me growing up. She was just mean to me, and she would just leave and go hang out with her friends because she had a neighbor girl that was actually her age. And so I was just alone most of the time.
What were your guys' age differences?
My sister is 2.5, 3 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, you guys don't get along, or you guys don't?
No, we get along now. I think when we were younger, I didn't realize she had a lot of animosity towards me because like I found out very recently, doing some stuff with the family, like why she was so mean to me when we were younger. It was just because like family members and outsiders would tell her and my mom and stuff how pretty I was as a kid. And nobody said that to her, and she hated me for it, and I never knew any of this shit.
Yeah,
like, I never knew it at all. Like, I even grew up, my mom never told me I was beautiful because she was afraid it would go to my head. So, like, I had this thing in my head where I was just, like, this ugly duckling the whole time because nobody ever told me that, you know? Yeah. It's like this weird thing. I understand what she was trying to do, but on my side, I was like,
crazy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm like,
is it maybe just some parents are not as loving?
No, I think she was very like loving, but like I just think she was trying to do it in a different way because her childhood was very different. Nobody ever told her she was pretty or she could do anything she wanted to do, and then growing up around other kids whose parents told them that was like crazy to me because nobody ever told me that. Like, I didn't know I was even mildly pretty until I became a stripper later on. And I was like, wow, people want to sleep with me. Weird.
Oh, I'm pretty. Yeah, I mean, when you don't hear it, I mean, our childhoods affect so much.
Yeah.
I mean? And we look for love in the wrong places if you don't get the right love as a child and stuff. So.
But I also get like where she's coming from too.
Absolutely.
I get it.
Those sometimes like I don't know. I have a good relationship with my parents now for sure. But me having kids was like I understand it's not as easy. Or I have much more grace for like how things were back then because now
there's no rule book.
No rule book.
You have a kid and you're just thrown into
this. Exactly. Yeah. So.
And you had a kid pretty young, so that's gotta be wild.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You don't know anything about the world. You're still growing up, and you all of a sudden had a kid.
It's crazy. Was not on the plans for sure.
Oh, I bet not.
But the dopest thing to ever happen to me. I love my kids.
Yeah, that's a reason to live.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, that right there. So now you know you're pretty. That's cool, right? You know correctly.
Well, who knows anymore?
Who knows anymore, right? So your sister resented you, and you guys are good. You guys are all good now.
We're good now. Yeah, we don't talk very much, but when we do see each other, like we get to catch up on everything. And like when I do see her, both of us go to bed early, but then we end up staying up too late because we like talk about stuff. And we live 2 completely different lives, but she's still my sister, and I love her, and I can tell she loves me too. Yeah. So when we get into those moments, it's just cool to be able to actually talk to somebody that you've known your entire life.
Yeah, that's a completely different relationship than anyone else. That's awesome.
Even though we're not super close, it's still, there's this eternal love that you have for your family members.
Yeah, you don't have to talk to them every single day to know that you're probably going to be the one first in line to help with anything.
Yeah, or like if something's going wrong, you can call them, they'll always answer, even if you haven't talked to them in a year.
Always. I love that. You mentioned your parents being gone working a lot. What did they do?
So my father, I wish I could remember how he likes to say it. It was really creative. It made it sound really fancy, but he was a janitor at a college first, and then a high school, and then a middle school, high school. And then my mother, when I was growing up, was a lunch lady.
Nice.
at the school I went to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That, man, a real lunch lady.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
she was a great lunch lady.
Do you know how they met?
I think I know they worked together at the college, both being janitors originally, but like I think they met before that in high school or towards the end of high school. They're the exact same age.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know the story to a T. I kind of wish I did now. Now I'm gonna have to call it.
We'll figure it out. We gotta figure it out. The mystery must be solved.
Yeah.
You arrive to high school time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
You told me that was one out of the few things we picked to talk about, like chapters of your life, where it kind of made a different turn from where you were at. Can you kind of give me the lowdown on how like high school life and how that was for you, and what things happened that led you on this path to start it, I suppose?
Okay. Well, I mean, I was into art my entire childhood.
Yeah.
Definitely into art. Took every art class I possibly could.
Love that.
But I was also extremely rebellious, and I wanted to be my own independent person, and I dressed up in all sorts of crazy ways, and I gave myself piercings. I did all of this stuff, and I didn't like to obey rules. I didn't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
So going to school in Manhattan public schools, where I had a class of 22 kids total. There were 11 boys and 11 girls, and that was one of the biggest classes they had to that day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
Football
very
team.
small.
You guys had a football team.
We had a whole football team.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
But they didn't really like how I dressed or how I acted, and I was constantly breaking dress code violations, and like I was being sent to the not the psychologist, but the counselor, the school counselor. I was being sent to the school counselor on like a weekly basis for like weird shit I was drawing, and then eventually I got enough marks to where they were gonna kick me out of the school. And then my mom decided, because she worked for Bozeman schools at the time, she could get me in, even though I lived in Manhattan, she could get me into Bozeman schools. So I ended up transferring to Bozeman schools, which was wild, because I went from a class of 22 to a class of over 1,000 kids.
That's crazy.
And so that was a culture shock.
That's great. And you were only like 45 minutes away. And it's like a whole
Yeah,
other world.
a whole other world.
That's crazy.
But like, at that age, where I was halfway through my freshman year, it was insane. And then the kid that showed me through the school was just like, yeah, okay, we do this, you look like you smoke weed, so you bring weed next week. We meet here at noon. Yeah, and I was just like, oh God, I gotta steal weed from my dad so I can be cool like these guys.
That's crazy. So you're pothead, that's what the group you would probably be in?
Well, I mean, that's kind of like the group that I ended up in, because like this kid just showed me through the high school, and I was like, okay, cool, I need some friends. But then I ended up being friends with like the weird artsy kids that were goth and punk and dressed weird, and like I was always into like trying to express myself by the way I dressed, and my mother hated it.
Yeah, very traditional Montana.
Yeah.
Totally. I get it.
She wanted me to wear pink and cute clothes, and not so much black, you know?
Is that something you weren't feeling from the beginning? Like, I'm not plain Jane dress.
No, I wanted to dress crazy because I never felt right in my skin. And I think that's half of why I became who I am today. It's because I hated the way I looked. I hated every part of my body. But the day I started getting tattoos, I started to love those parts of my body. I used to wear long sleeves in the summertime and like pants. Yeah. And then I started dressing sluttier and sluttier the more tattoos I got, because I was like proud of my body. I was proud of the way my skin looked.
Yeah, I love that. You're expressing the shit out of yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And now I wear normal ass clothes because I'm like, my skin looks so ridiculous. It doesn't matter.
Oh man. No, you got a lot of tats. It's cool.
I got a couple.
You got a few. My favorite tattoo of yours, everybody poops.
Oh, it's gone now.
It's gone now?
It's gone.
Not in my head.
No, I'll remember it forever. Too. Yeah. It was there for a good 5, maybe 8 years.
8 years? So the reference behind that little story was, I was trying to get a tattoo, and I was like, it's kind of stupid, and I think I might regret it, and then I don't want to get it removed, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, what do you think about that? And she's like, well, I have everybody poops tattooed on, was it on your butt? Or
my lower back.
On your lower back, yeah.
Tramp stamp, everybody poops.
Everybody poops. And I was like, all right, well, that just settled it for me. Very wise one. Autumn is.
I knew I could cover it eventually when I was ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to have.
I love it. You do great cover-ups, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So you're expressing yourself, dressing slutty, getting tats. Did you get kicked out of school? Or?
Yeah, so I was basically on the edge of getting kicked out of school when my mom was like, okay, we can put you in this school before you get these marks on your record, basically. Mm-hmm. So then I moved to Bozeman because I had that opportunity. And it was life-changing for me. I all of a sudden had art classes I could take. More than just your basic ass fucking tiny town art classes. Yeah. I could take oil painting, I could take pottery, I could take photography, I could take all of these crazy classes. Yeah. Art history isn't offered in high school very many places.
I took it actually. It's pretty dope.
It's interesting,
it really
for sure.
What was your favorite out of all of those?
Out of all of them, I loved probably oil painting. That was kind of my natural go-to. And figure drawing. I love figure drawing. I love drawing the human, the face, and the body, and understanding how it moves. I think there's so much expression and emotion behind humans. I still want to capture that today in my artwork.
I think you do. I think you really do. And then you put your beautiful, very unique touch on that, and it's great. I love your work. It's amazing.
Just trying to make people feel something.
Right? Damn, I'm feeling it right now.
I'm sure you are.
Man, but I will be alright. It looks so sick.
It does. I can't wait to finish it.
Oh man, it's gonna happen. Sorry, where did we move off? You were being naughty somehow in school.
Oh yeah, and was
on the verge of getting.
Basically, I got kicked out without getting the marks on my record, so I didn't have to go to the alternative school. I got an opportunity to go to the regular public school. Yeah.
Okay. You're taking all these art classes.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Next, I just start doing all the drugs.
And the bad part was you got addicted to heroin, correct?
Yes. I mean, I started doing it just recreationally. I had an older friend who kind of introduced me to it. Because I was so rebellious. I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about anyone. I hated school. I didn't want to learn the things they wanted to teach me. The only classes I wanted to go to were art classes. But then these people took me in, and I made friends with these much older crowd, and I got to try heroin for the first time, kind of without knowing really what it was. But I tried that, and slowly, over years, it took to the point where I was very addicted. It used to just be I would do it on the weekends with my friends, But I didn't realize how gnarly of a drug heroin is. It's so bad. But when I was introduced to it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so chic. All the models are doing
doing black tar.
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it, because it's yourself.
Oh, but the people doing it were so beautiful and calm, and they just seemed so chill, and I had so much anxiety. I just wanted to be chill.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Anxiety, that has been since as long as you can remember, or is that something you can remember when it really started becoming a normal part of your life?
Oh, definitely. When I was really little, I actually got held back from going to kindergarten because I was afraid to speak to the interviewer, the person that interviews you for kindergarten.
Yeah. Really?
So I got held back a year, so I was a year older than everybody else in school because I refused to verbally speak to them. The only person I would talk to was my mother and my imaginary friend.
That's it.
And I've had so much social anxiety all of my life. Like, definitely conquer it now.
Yeah.
Like I can handle it, but I still don't like situations where there's a lot of people and a lot of noise, and especially if I'm the center of attention.
Which can be
That shit's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, you've been soldiering through it though. You're on magazine covers, and so you do modeling. You are a professional snowboarder as well, correct? Semi-pro. We'll get into that.
Well, it's going to be pro by the end of this year.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Where were we at?
You're good. What were we talking about? Oh, the social anxiety stuff.
And
heroin.
Yeah, to take away the social anxiety.
Oh, and that's one thing that definitely works. Kills social anxiety.
And a lot of other things too.
Yeah, like your soul.
Damn. Yeah, that's true. All the rock stars did it,
It seems cool, right?
Mick Jagger, he's the best.
Yeah.
No, that's a big time. That's a big shot.
No, it's dumb.
That's the craziest.
So dumb.
Yeah, well, you're very hardcore. So it went from every weekend or so to like, I'm full blown addicted. What does that look like?
It took probably like, once I dropped out of college, so I did like a summer semester in college, which I got a scholarship to, which was dope. I probably would have never even attempted college had I not gotten a scholarship to it, which was for my artwork, and that was cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude, that's so tight. How do so you're in art class, you're killing it, and the teacher really likes your stuff, and what does he like send it off, or how
so
does
yeah,
it get
the teachers asked me my senior year because I didn't have enough points to actually graduate from high school, so I ended up getting a GED because all I took were art classes. I didn't take any of the classes I needed credits for. But I had I had AP art credits,
Yeah.
And my art teacher was like, there's this college, it's an all-girls, the only all-girls liberal arts college in the US, and it doesn't cover any of the other stuff. It's like an art-specific university, so he was like, let's try to get you a scholarship and help me put together a portfolio, and we sent it in, and they accepted it, and I got to move to Philadelphia for the summer and get a bunch of college credits for art, and then
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was sweet.
How was Philly?
Overwhelming for somebody with social anxiety and who had never been to a big city.
Dang, that's a huge culture shock.
That was going from small town Montana. I thought Bozeman was a big city.
Yeah, I know.
And then I was in Philly.
Dang, that's so wild.
Smoking cigarettes and sneaking out of the dorm.
Like what, 19 something?
I was like 18. Yeah.
That's so wild. That's crazy. Okay, so you only do a semester, or how long did you?
So I did a summer. It was like basically a semester's worth of credits.
Okay.
But it was a very short summer course. You basically went to school 6 days a week.
Okay.
And all day.
That's so something really cool that you were able to do.
It was cool because you can basically cut out a whole semester going into college, which was what it was for. It was really cool. It was a cool school. I met a lot of cool people, but it was overwhelming for me at that time. And that's when I realized I'm not a city person.
Then and there was it.
Yep.
You do go to a lot of big cities now, don't you?
I do, but I don't like them.
You don't like them?
No, I'd rather go to the mountains.
I feel you there. That's for sure. They got mountains in Florida?
Yeah, they got mountains.
Oh yeah. Hey, you're going straight
We're going to the Alps.
To the Alps. Right where you belong. That's awesome.
Snowboard some more glaciers.
Heck yeah. So you head back to what, Bozeman after Philly?
Yeah.
And
and then I just started doing heroin a lot more.
Really?
Yeah. I was bored.
That's what it was.
Like, I was working these jobs. I was working in a record store where it was cool, but I was getting paid minimum wage. Yeah. And, like, I couldn't afford to go snowboarding anymore. snowboard. So in the winters, I wasn't snowboarding. And then, I don't know, I just fell into this pattern of like, this is my whole life. I'll never become anything. Like, even in the back of my head, my whole life, I was like, I want to be a tattoo artist someday.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, since I was like 12.
Oh.
Yeah, I wrote a paper on it.
Really? All right. You're living your dream out then, huh?
Oh, all my dreams.
Yeah, you really are.
Dude, my mom just came to visit me for Thanksgiving. Apparently, I haven't seen her in like 2 years or something.
Same, my mom just came too, so
yeah.
Good on us. Yeah.
But she came to visit me and she brought me this little school memory book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I opened this and I look at it and I was like, this is funny. And I look at these awards I got and shit. It was like a little kid.
Yeah.
And the last 3 pages, so like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade were the last 3 inserts. My dreams were to become a professional snowboarder and a professional artist. And like, I had those dreams
way back. Those are like
in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Like, I didn't even remember I had those dreams back then.
That's crazy.
And like, I'm fucking doing it.
You certainly are.
It's cool. My life is rad.
Your life is way rad, and it's never dull, and I feel like you're always looking for the next step. Like, it's never, you can always just get better. You can always do. There's so many levels, and you want to be at like the highest.
Yeah, I want to be the best at everything I do, but like, I also think life is boring, and I don't know what to do with myself if I don't have goals. And I think that's part of the reason I got addicted to heroin was because I didn't have any goals or expectations. I was just like, this is my life every day. And I was like, oh, maybe this drug would kill me someday. That'd be cool. Because that'd be easier.
Yeah, man. You grew up in a very small town, and you're proof of that. If you're a kid in a small town and you have those sorts of hopes, dreams, and aspirations like you did, like, it's possible. You're living out your dream right now.
Yeah, I think it's possible for anyone.
Literally, yeah.
You just have to really believe it's possible.
Manifestation is real.
Yeah.
100%. Well, that makes me happy to hear. You're just on the path. You're just right where you should be. How do you get off of heroin? How does that change?
No, that's a whole. Listen to another podcast about that one.
Yeah, all right. What's that one called?
That was on. So during COVID, I did the writing class, and then there was this podcast called Writing Class Radio, and I submitted one of my little short stories, and they were like, "We'll pay you for this. Publish it on our podcast. Like, you just tell the story, a microphone on the podcast." Yeah,
it's really cool.
What is it? I think it's Taking the Long Road or something is what it's called. I don't remember. But yeah, it was fun because that was a thing when I was actually my 3rd grade goal when I read it was to become a writer.
So you're a published writer too as well.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm writing a book too. So.
Oh, fuck it. I can't wait to read it.
I don't know, yeah. When did you start tattooing?
Okay, so I started tattooing when I was 21 years old. So I got off of heroin because of a pile of events involving the police and my drug dealer, and then I was gonna get arrested because I sold a bunch of people drugs where a lot of people died because they had switched the formula for Oxycontin. To the point where you couldn't shoot it up anymore. So I started selling all these people who had only done pharmaceutical grade heroin to actual like black tar heroin. And I sold it to all these people with like, I told them like it's not measured. Like you can take too much, like start small, and like 5 or 6 people died the first day I sold it to them. So like all of these people, and I was the last contact on their phone, so then the police obviously found a correlation, and then my way of getting out of this without going to prison was to give away my drug dealer. So you can listen to the other podcast about that whole story, but
I will.
Yeah, it was. I don't even like telling the story about that time. Like I don't recognize that person. Like it's not me anymore at all.
No, that's crazy.
So after that event, I kind of had to quit, and I had a boyfriend who wasn't the greatest boyfriend overall.
Yeah.
But he was exactly who I needed in that point in time. And he was able to take me out of my job, make me move in with him. I was with him 24/7. He kept an eye on me, and he helped me quit. So I'm forever grateful for that. Even though, you know, it didn't work out, and it shouldn't have worked out. He was really perfect for that point in time.
Yeah, he's there for a reason.
Yeah, and I did it all cold turkey. Like, I went to a couple of rehabs. It took me a while. But in the end, the last time, I just did it cold turkey because I knew I had overdosed so many times. I wasn't going to live through another one, so I either had to choose to live or die, you know?
Yeah, those are the only options at that point in time.
Yeah.
Very crazy. Well, I'm glad you're still with us.
Yeah. Then I started tattooing.
And then you started tattooing. Yeah, that's, damn. I'm going to go back and listen to that. And, but yeah, so you start tattooing. Was it 617 where you first started?
So I started tattooing out of my house.
Okay.
So when I was living with that guy, getting clean, I told him like it had been my life goal to become a tattoo artist, and he surprised me and got me like a tattoo machine kit off of like fucking Amazon or some shit, like some really horrible stuff.
Yeah.
So I started practicing on myself and like anybody who would let me at that time.
Yeah.
And they were horrible. I even misspelled one. Like, all the worst tattoos you can imagine.
That's damn.
And yeah, I just practiced a bunch until I had like a portfolio of work that I was somewhat proud of. I would be terrified to look at that portfolio
Really?
now.
We gotta find that thing.
Oh, I'm sure I burned it. Guaranteed.
Even the difference between tattooing, like this tattoo and this tattoo, I feel like
A huge difference.
yeah. So I can even imagine your first tattoo to this, but
Yeah.
look at you, just been trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I just had that confidence, even though I shouldn't have.
Where do you pull that confidence out of?
I don't know. It's like I'm acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
I just pretend like I'm good at it, and eventually I'll get good at it.
you do anything at times.
Yeah. And if you say anything with enough confidence, people believe it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, you carry it well.
Thank you.
Yeah. 6 ones. Okay, so you're tattooing out of your house.
Yeah.
With your boyfriend, and you guys break up, and then,
No, we were together for 5 years, like a while. That was a big relationship, the biggest relationship I've ever had.
yeah, that's a big deal.
But he grew up in Livingston, Montana, and he had a friend, and he was very tattooed. He had a friend who had done a lot of his tattoos, who lived in Livingston, and his friend was opening a tattoo shop there. So he was trying to like help me out a little bit more, like, oh, maybe you could try to work there. And like, I had brought my portfolio to a couple different tattoo shops around like Bozeman area and stuff, and everybody was like, no, we don't want you. Like, nah, we just don't hire girls. Like, a bunch of stuff. And then, so I went there and I put on my most confident face ever and been like, yeah, I've been tattooing forever. I've been tattooing for like, I don't know, a couple years of like just fucking around with friends and stuff too. And they took me. They were like, yeah, you can have a job here.
Livingston, Montana.
Yeah, what was that, 2011, 2012, something? I was 21.
21. So
Yeah.
you start tattooing there, 21.
Yeah.
And you end up owning this place.
Within 6 months.
Within 6 months.
Yeah.
Dang.
On accident.
A lot had to change in 6 months.
Yeah, like, I started feeling more confident being at the business. I didn't feel that confident about my tattoos yet, but there was a big fight between the two guys that opened the shop. One of the guys was the manager. He did the initial investment of money and stuff, but he wasn't a tattoo artist. And the other guy was the tattoo artist, the guy the shop was basically made for. And they had this huge argument. And I only heard the tail end of it, but the owner-manager guy offered it to the tattoo artist. Was like, hey, give me X amount of money, shop is yours, I'll walk away. Like, nothing happened.
No harm, no foul.
So then I went up to the tattoo artist, the only other guy working there, and was like, hey, are you gonna do this? Like, I still wanna work here. Like, I'm so hungry for this. And he was like, I don't have the money, but I would rather, like, artists own a place instead of somebody who's not an artist. And I was like, I can figure out how to get the money. And so I figured out how to get the money. And I was like, we'll be co-owners. And then, you know, a year later, he never paid me back for any of the money. And then I ended up just owning my own shop after working there for 6 months, my first job at a tattoo shop.
Didn't even like rent a booth somewhere else, like literally.
No, it was just straight into the thick of it, and it was terrifying. And I learned a lot really fast.
I bet. That's crazy. Like, never doing books before and stuff. Like,
no.
all the business.
Oh, like financial side of it? God, I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, right. Did you have anybody help you out through those processes, or just all you?
It was mostly just me trying to figure shit out the hard way, making a lot of mistakes. Eventually I hired on more tattoo artists, and some of them helped give me insight and stuff, and then some of them I had to fire. I learned how to do that. That's where I hate firing people. I hate it. But then eventually, like, I got an apprentice who was way more business minded than I was. And I was like, look, I'll teach you everything I know about tattooing, and you help me with this side of things. And it was fucking perfect. And it happens we've been friends since, like, we were like 16, 17 or something.
That's perfect.
But he ended up being a brilliant artist. I think he might even be better than me.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, I can't ever have an apprentice again because he fucking crushed it. Like, nobody else could do that good.
No?
He also organized my business, helped me actually make money, figured out how to, like, remodel my basement.
Yeah,
like,
that's
how
awesome.
he did everything.
Can you shout this person out? Or?
Oh, yeah. Jacob Crowder, Hollow Priest Tattoos.
Hollow Priest Tattoos. Where's
Yeah.
that located?
That is in Tennessee,
Tennessee?
I believe. Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, he just opened a new shop. Built it himself. He owns it himself.
Damn.
Proud of him. Like, the most proud I could be. Like, he's doing better than I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Apprentice.
that's like the goal. When you
Yeah.
give them apprentice,
Yeah.
you want them to be better than you.
Yeah.
And he fucking did it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so sick. What would you say his style is?
It's like a gothic fantasy world. He's literally written an entire novel. And the tattoos he does are the graphic novel images of this novel he created. So every tattoo he does is interconnected. He doesn't do anything anyone asks for. He just does pieces based on its story. So then when his clients, who are from all over the United States, the world even, they see one, and you can definitely tell it's his work. Like, it's a very distinct style. They see one and they're like, oh, what's your character? And they're like, oh, our characters interact in this story, this like wild story. Like,
that's crazy.
yeah, he's pretty brilliant.
Very brilliant. He changed the way to like even look at. I don't know. That's right. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
he created like a whole new avenue nobody ever had seen in the world of tattoo work before.
Yeah.
That's like almost deeper in some way. Like,
It's literally has a story.
yeah.
It doesn't get much deeper than that. That's crazy. Do you do like a similar sort of thing? Not so much like the fantasy world, but like with your style, and I feel like you have a distinctive style too as well. But I think I forgot my question. There's something about not the story part.
How I come up with my designs.
That, and do you like him? Those are his designs, right? Like, isn't that your thing too? Where like you only
Yeah, for the most part, I actually learned it from him. I love that I'm learning things from the person I taught how to tattoo. You know, I think that's beautiful.
That is.
But I started creating these designs. I would just spend a day or two a week, and I would macro dose mushrooms, and I would just create whatever crazy images would come to my mind. And usually I would base them on something that was going on in my life. Like, I think artwork is the most beautiful when it has feelings and emotions behind it. So I want to portray emotions when people look at my tattoos. The same way I've felt where I've stood in an art gallery somewhere in front of a painting, and it brought me to tears because I could feel the emotions in the painting. Like, I want to create whatever emotion it is. That's what I want to create. Even when people ask me for custom designs, I'll have a consultation with them, and they'll be like, I want a clock, a rose, and a lion. I'll be like, okay, don't skip all of that stuff. Tell me why you want these things. What's the story you're trying to? Obviously, this means something to you. Why does it mean something? So I want to get the story out of the person, where they're like, oh, well, my grandpa was really important to me. He was like the strength of the family. He died too young. I felt like I missed this opportunity to get to know him, and I want to represent him in this way. I'm like, skip all of the imagery. I can create that emotion.
Yeah.
And that meaning without doing something you've seen a million times before. You know.
Exactly. You're doing different things for sure. Yeah. You said that same thing to me. I was like, this, and you're like, no, give me what you feel. Give me the emotions from it.
I want the emotions, I want the story, I want
Exactly.
Because you can tell me tattoos you've seen before. And you're like, oh, this is cool, and it would look cool on me, and it kind of represents what I'm thinking, but I've been able to open my mind enough to like try to encompass a new way of looking at a story, where I can create images. I had a guy ask me for a jellyfish made of light and sound, and that was one of the coolest requests I've gotten, because it's so out there. Like, how can I get so creative to envelop sound in an image?
I'm trying to process it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang, did you bring that to life? Did you?
Oh, I sure did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. So you're at 617. You got your own shop. How did you get the opportunity to come work here?
Well, I'd owned that shop for years. I was finally making money there, and
I got tattooed by her, by the way, at this shop.
In 617, yeah.
Yep, 617.
8 years ago, yeah.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tattooed his chest there.
Sure did.
So yeah, I kind of realized working there that I had gotten better, and I was going to conventions, and I was going to seminars, and I was learning from these other artists who I admired, and I reached a point where Livingston was beautiful, and I will always love it. I couldn't grow much more at the rate that I wanted to grow, so I needed to be around artists who were better than me. I needed to be around people who could give me ideas. I needed to be around more artists, because in that town, there were so many people who were like, oh, you're the best tattoo artist around. Like I didn't want to be that. I wanted to learn and grow. And one of the seminars I went to, there was a very phenomenal tattoo artist that taught me a lot. And he told me, yeah, if you're the best artist in the room, you need to get the fuck out of the room.
Really?
Yeah, otherwise you're not going to go anywhere.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah. So I got out of the fucking room, and I applied for guest spots at different places, and Elysium came up because I had a guest artist at 617 who was like, oh man, I went to this shop, Elysium, man, it's really cool, they do really good work, but all they talk about is like working out and fitness and diets and stuff, and I was like, oh, these are my people.
There.
I was like, I'm just gonna throw it out there and try to apply, and like within a few days I got a response, and they were like, yeah, come for a guest spot.
That's awesome.
I did the guest spot. I walked past the front door like 15 times before walking in. I was so fucking nervous. So I was like, these guys are so much cooler than me. And I came in, and they were super welcoming, and I did my guest spot. I worked every single day. I worked my ass off trying to do the coolest tattoos I possibly could to show them what I was capable of. And on the last day, Arlo offered me a job.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember, so you're just crushing it all those days, just banging out huge pieces?
So I was exhausted.
I bet.
I don't ever work like 7 days in a row like that. And I just did that because I wanted to show them, like.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Well, Arlo's a very famous tattooer too, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He was the one I was the most nervous to meet, because I had seen his work all over the internet, and I was like, oh my god, dude, your tattoos are broken the internet. I was like, this is so cool, I want to be like Arlo. And then I met him and I was like, no, I don't want to be like
I don't want to
Arlo.
be like Arlo, but I'll work for him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, this place is so rad. And was this like his? Do you know when this all get like? Yeah, this whole situation.
Oh, when I started working here, it was at a different location.
Oh.
It was this old house. It was really cool. I loved it. I worked there for I think 2 or 3 years before we moved into the church. But the church he had bought a year after I moved here. So then it sat in limbo, trying to like work everything out so it could become a tattoo shop, and then of course all the renovation stuff because it did not look this good before.
Yeah, no, you're showing me pictures. It was like the old school burgundy church carpets and like plain eggshell white everything, just like a standard church, and it is not the standard church anymore.
No, it's. I mean, we got mannequins and chains holding up our station.
Yeah. The tables,
yeah.
But it's a work of art itself. Though.
It is. It's really beautiful.
Very, very beautiful. So you were working there 3 years before you ended up here.
Yeah. And then we moved to the church.
How much have from when you first got hired by Arlo to this point right now? How much have you learned? Like working around all these people, like you said, you wanted to come work around the best.
Yeah.
Has it been? What's the experience been like soaking up from all these different artists?
Yeah, I learned everything not to do from watching Arlo.
For real?
Literally. Oh yeah. I love Arlo to death now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's like the epitome of like, oh cool, I'm just gonna watch him fuck up so I don't make those mistakes.
Yeah.
But I learned so much from like people I didn't expect. Like I was definitely nervous to meet Jacob Sheffield. He's a fucking god in the tattoo world. He does tattoos that are inhuman. The fact that they heal perfectly every time. They never change from the way they look when they're fresh to when they're healed. And he's just so casual and calm and just chill guy who wants to share all of his information. Like I learned the most about art from him and Paul Lunetta is just smokes a bunch of weed, loves talking about aliens, and he just loves painting, and he loves art, and he loves the classical art theory, and kind of shows you the way where you can apply those classical art theories to tattoos. How can you make it more interesting? And he's always down to expand the creativity.
I love that.
And it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. There's a ton of paintings downstairs.
Yeah.
Most of the artists here paint as well as tattoo.
I think every single one of us paint, yeah.
You guys are real good artists.
Well, yeah, we don't just print out tattoos.
We don't just fuck around over here. No, this is it's probably the coolest shop I've ever been in. But also very welcoming, very, very nice people.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. 617 to Grand Junction, 8 years. Oh, so is that?
Oh, I owned 617
for 8 years. Yeah. That's nuts. And you just like got done with that?
I went from 6 months to then 8 years of being a business owner. So, I am not a business owner.
Well, you're an artist.
Yeah. I draw pretty pictures and I want to run a business again.
9 years of friendship. Oh, okay. So you spoke about doing mushrooms and that, like that's studying and your art getting better, right? Like taking those times to do macro doses, like you were saying. Is that a big part of what made your skill level like rise so much, or your art get more creative and kind of just because it's that many years? How much was it like a part of your not everyday life, but like your cycle? Like how does it tie into it all?
Oh, definitely. Like I started doing microdoses of mushrooms more for a mental state. Like I tried mushrooms for the first time in a really long time, and I realized it opened up a different perspective and creativity. Everything I was looking at outside was more colorful. I had just gone through surgery and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do some mushrooms. And then I realized this could actually be used towards all areas areas of my life. And that's when I decided to start microdosing on a regular basis. And then it accidentally sort of helped my artwork. While I was doing this, I realized I was opening those creative levels where I was kind of stuck in before, and I could then put pictures to emotions or to sounds, and I think that's when my artwork leaped to the next level.
I love that. Psychedelics are a huge part of my life.
And they just make you happy.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Oh man. I hope eventually we end up on a vacation scenario with like friends and all that, so that way we can do some macro doses and enjoy
absolutely.
like outdoors.
Go look at the sunset and feel all the colors.
Feel all the colors. So for mental health reasons and for art, I love that. Did you do any drawing like at all in your art stuff? Like, was that ever a path, like instead of painting, like sketching? Is that ever? Like,
yeah, definitely. Actually, when I started tattooing, like the iPad wasn't a thing.
I know.
Yeah, we had traditional coil tattoo machines like those, and I just had an entire like bedroom worth of stacks of paper because I hand drew every single tattoo. So outside of hand drawing every single tattoo, which took forever. Yeah, like it didn't have layers, you couldn't like double click to delete anything. You just had to start over again. So sketching and drawing and stuff was a huge part of it, and it's wild how much it's changed since the iPad came into the world of tattooing. Now I don't have to have 10 million rooms of loose paper and I can't find anything. It's all just right on a neat little box.
The iPad Pro is so good for that. You've been using it for a while though. I feel like you were using it when you did my chest.
That might have been when I just started.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I remember that. I was like, that's insane. She's using an iPad.
That literally might have been exactly when I started using an iPad for the first time.
Probably.
It was right after I went to the seminar.
Which one?
I went to the seminar in Eugene, Oregon, and it was by an artist who lives in Denmark, Mark Scaro, and he blew my mind with all of this like technology stuff you could do, and he encouraged me. He even offered me, I had no money, I was barely breaking even at this tattoo shop I was owning, and he encouraged me to come back. He would give me like a tattoo for dirt cheap and talk me through the whole thing because he saw promise in me, and I'm really grateful for that, because then I immediately bought an iPad. I immediately started tattooing the things that I wanted to tattoo, that I was excited about. Yeah, so like, I don't know, every seminar, every tattoo artist I've met has helped me in some way, and it's really cool to see how quickly it all came about.
I love that. There are like levels to it, and we'll get into it later, but you have like kind of a future plan for after, when you're done with this place, don't you?
Oh, definitely. So I went to Thailand for a friend's birthday that works here. She's amazing, she's beautiful, Christina Taylor, her work is phenomenal. But I went to Thailand and I met this crew of tattoo artists from Germany. Like I think there were 14 of us. The majority of them were from Germany, and they all worked together, and it was harmonious and beautiful. And we all did mushrooms and watched the sunset and stared at the moon together. And by the end of it, they offered me a job. So my next adventure will be moving to Germany. I'm gonna go do a guest spot first to make sure everybody's cool and everybody likes me, but 100% I'm ready to move to Europe. I'm ready for the new goals, the new exciting things in my life.
That's awesome. I'm so happy.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you to come visit me.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, Germany. It's gonna be so much fun. And Portugal. You guys gotta come to Portugal.
Oh, I will come to Portugal for sure. Germany and Portugal, they're not that far away.
They're not that far away.
It's a really cheap plane flight.
It really is. Life in Grand Junction. Outside of tattooing, snowboarding, I know you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Modeling. You wanna give me, how does your schedule work with all this? Like, how do you book what and you don't like business, but you do a lot of business.
Yeah, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I put tattooing number 1, snowboarding number 2. Then my boyfriend and my dog are like number 3.
Nice. Solid.
But like I don't plan anything or schedule very much except for work. I make sure I have work scheduled, I make money, and then snowboarding, I have set snowboard competitions I have to go through throughout the year, and those take priority because that's a dream that I want to come true. So organizing my life here is a lot of leaving and going outside. And luckily, Grand Junction is this cool place where it's close to literally everything you can do. You can go rock climbing, and the same day you can drive to somewhere with snow, go snowboarding. Like, exact same day. You can drive 4.5 hours and be in 2 different major cities. It's wild. Like, I wouldn't think it would be that cool of a place, but it's so close to everything. You can choose your own adventure every day.
I love that, because you need options.
Yeah, I can't sit still.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
It is.
Except for right now.
You're in the zone, you're all good, you're in chill mode. I don't know, this is only my second time here, but I've talked to some people. I even interviewed a guy, the other day, right? My Uber driver. But we were talking about mental health and how it's an issue, and there's a lot of homelessness here, and there's been like stuff going on legally with like some non-profits. They're supposed to be clinics. What do you call it? Methadone clinic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
You hear about that one? You're too busy living a good life. There's that, and then there's a very high suicide rate here as well.
Yeah.
Like extremely high. Can you? I mean, I don't know if you can talk about any of it, like if you're around any of it all, but is it very apparent?
Oh, definitely. I take my dog for a walk every morning, and I have to be on the lookout for syringes because the homeless people are all living in the park next to my house because they got kicked out of the last park they were in. So you get onto the river and you don't know what kind of crazy homeless person is going to be there. Most of them are cool, but then there's some of them that are like, oh, you just want to keep your distance.
Yeah.
There's definitely, it's warm climate here, and homeless people have an easier time surviving, and it's just automatically going to draw those in.
Yeah.
There is also a high level of boredom here for kids, which is why so many kids are getting into drugs and getting into trouble, is the fact that they're so bored. Yeah. Because none of them have enough money to go rock climbing or snowboarding or get out, and their parents are too busy working to pay attention. So then all they have left to do is be like stuck here in this little town, with nothing to fucking do. So I'm gonna go get in trouble with my friends, we're gonna try some drugs, maybe we'll sell some drugs, like, you know, they're doing all the same shit I did when I was bored. And I can see it happening with all of them. And it's sad. Like, I would love more than anything to put on some sort of art clinic, put on some sort of something to where kids could have an opportunity to like try snowboarding, try skiing. Like, it's close. Yeah. It's not that far away.
Yeah. Have you ever done something like that, or have been a part of any like fundraising situations or anything? Because I've been wanting to put together like, I don't know, a golf tournament, which is off topic, but something to like.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Yeah, something.
Yeah, to help get these kids like to not go down that road. What do you think? I don't know, what kind of
like, I would love to help in some way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm capable of planning it.
True.
But I would love to volunteer for something like that, or I would even love to just be like, hey, some kids are interested in art, they're fucking bored. Have them tag along, and I can teach like a little mini one-on-one art class. You know, teach you how to paint.
That's cool.
You know, that's an easy one.
That is easy, but it's very cool, and that's therapy.
Yeah,
it is.
Sure. Exactly, and it's half the therapy is the fact that you're so bored, you're stuck with your own feelings and thoughts, and you let it run wild, and it drives you fucking mad to the point of depression and like
heroin.
Yeah, and heroin and all of the bad things you can possibly do is because you're bored and your life has no purpose.
That's the key right there. You gotta have purpose.
You gotta find purpose.
Find purpose.
Because, I mean, I complained when I was addicted to heroin all the time that like, oh, my life is so bad for me. Like, everything bad happens. Like, I realized later that I'm so sick of feeling sorry for myself, and I chose that. I wanted other people to feel sorry for me. And I don't ever want that again. Because my life is fucking awesome because I choose for it to be awesome. And I think everybody else is capable of that. But it's hard to get people to see that that's possible. Because the world does not train you to think that way.
It's crazy that it doesn't, though.
Yeah.
Because
it should.
When you're doing something risky, or you're doing something that has, high risk, high reward is like kind of the way I look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like going all in on your dreams, be a tattoo artist, or whatever anybody's doing. If you have people telling you that's not what you should be doing, if enough people say it, you're gonna believe it. I mean, not me. So it's like,
yeah, but you can't. You're around negative people enough that it starts to rub off on you a little bit.
100,000%.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I choose to surround myself with positive people. Like you.
Thank you so much. Healthy life. You said you were going to come here because everyone's like doing the best. Like,
yeah.
Is that what everyone is doing? Is everyone just?
Yeah, they go in roller coasters, Yeah. They're always doing something positive for their life, whether it's traveling, art, seminars, whether they're really healthy. Like, we have one guy that does a cold plunge every single morning. He goes to the gym 6 days a week, and I did that for a while too. I was going to the gym twice a day for 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And then it goes in waves. But we're all healthy and we're conscious. And the fact that the people around us are always doing something like that is motivational to continue to be in that healthy lifestyle. And to eat healthy, and everybody gives me shit because my diet is crazy, but it's really healthy, and it's motivated some of them to cut some extra carbs out of their life.
Yeah, when you're walking around all shredded, people are like, "What do they eat? What do you are what you eat.
Yeah.
What you put in your body is the fuel that runs your engine.
Yeah.
If you put that fuel.
It's funny because we all make fun of each other for the cool things that each other does, like my diet or how he cold plunges every day. We all tease each other about it, but we all admire each other about it. I think the best kind of friends are the friends that can give each other a lot of shit.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. We got a lot of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna do some questions.
Okay.
And yeah.
And then we're done. And then I can nap.
And then I can nap. All right, these are gonna be just randos, and then ones that come from me, and then I have one question from a gal. Are we alone in the universe? This is for me.
Fuck no.
I know. Hell no.
There's many different levels of us not being alone. Different dimensions, aliens, this universe. Nobody's alone ever.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. How do you nurse life? That doesn't make sense. What is the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life?
Biggest mistake?
Yeah, I mean, there's no regrets in life, but if you would go back and you're I probably would have did that different.
I would do nothing different. I mean, I feel like I should say doing heroin was a big fucking mistake, or unintentionally, killing a bunch of people because I sold them heroin. That's a huge mistake. But everything that came out of every dumbass fucking decision I've made in my life has helped me get to exactly where I am now. And I don't think I would be the same person had none of that ever happens. And I love who I am right now. Yeah.
It's all about self-love. I love that. How are we supposed to treat others?
Exactly how you want to be treated. I think. I mean, it's the dumbest thing you learn in middle school, but if you can take a half a second before you say something to somebody, or you, especially with social media and shit now, before you type something, a comment on somebody's post or picture, and you're like, oh, you have a double chin, it's would you really, A, say that to their face, and B, say that to yourself as an outsider?
That's the one right there.
If you can take that half a second and be how would I feel if somebody said this to me? You're do I need to say this?
it takes extra to do that. So like your own energy, like you're taking away from something to give a negative energy like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the internet and social media has created this field where we don't see their reaction, so then everything you do is fine. But everything you do is then hurting people later on. I've seen so many people crying and just hating themselves and going through like deep depression just because of some online trolls saying something bad about a picture.
It's sad. The young female suicide rates are like through the roof since like social media became like a big thing.
Oh, I can only imagine.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to move away from it. Like, my advertising basically is me walking around with JJ with flyers.
I think that's beautiful.
And that's
I'm right now trying to go back to the same thing. I'm trying to do conventions, hand out my card, shake hands with people, email back my clients who I've touched in the past and ask them how they're doing, and just reach out on a personal level instead of just relying on Instagram to advertise for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're gonna change the game. We're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
Do you believe in a higher power?
I believe in some sort of higher power. I don't know exactly what it is. I believe everybody's higher power is real. I literally believe in everything. I think it's a good way to be because I think everything is possible.
Yeah, dude.
So why can't everybody's beliefs be real? Even if I don't necessarily agree with it, it still could be real. I very much believe that.
Yeah.
You know?
Very open-minded lady. How did you overcome your anxiety and depression? You said I know.
Mushrooms.
Yeah?
Yeah. For sure. Like after heroin, it was like a battle with especially social anxiety and like large crowds and stuff and public speaking. This is fine because I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Yeah.
But I struggled with it so much that I would have panic attacks. I would drink too much. I would then smoke a bunch of weed and just try to get as fucked up as possible to like handle interacting with human beings.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to. It felt awkward and it felt uncomfortable and it felt like I was crawling out of my skin every time. And then I would just want to go hide in a corner, you know, for no reason. Like nothing bad was happening, but I just hated the feeling. But when I started doing mushrooms, I started, even when I didn't want to, it started showing me like, hey, none of this shit is that important. Like, calm down, look at the colors, everything's fine. None of these people matter. In fact, in most of these social situations where I have to like talk publicly to a big group, 2 people out of 100 are gonna remember what your main unit is, you know? Like, what are you so concerned about?
Yeah,
like, it makes you look at reality and understand what's actually important. Yeah. And how many things we stress about that are not important at all.
The mushrooms will bring those things out of you, like that. Being able to look introspectively at things and then being able to analyze them and then move past them. You know, like get over the hump sort of thing. I think that's a huge part of this mushrooms.
Like even going through breakups. Like I noticed when I did mushrooms after a hard breakup, I, was sitting on the side of the mountain watching the sunset, high on mushrooms. I was all crying and journaling and like heartbroken, and I was like, this was just a couple years of my life, and I'm still gonna live after this. And it just all came to me on mushrooms. That like I'm going to be fine, and this is just such a tiny part of my life that feels really big right now, and I'm allowed to feel sad right now, but my life isn't over.
It helps you realize those things.
Yeah.
We've called each other during breakup scenarios.
Oh, so many times. Both of us.
Yeah. So thank you for being that friend, by the way.
Oh, always. And thank you for being that friend, too.
Absolutely. As you know, I'm always here. I think we covered like pretty much everything. Do you think there's anything that we missed that we were like gonna talk about?
No, I think we did like the whole Autumn Hudson life story. Was just like 4 hours or something?
I don't think so. But I really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, of course, dude.
It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Do you want to shout anybody out and let anybody know your stuff or anything?
Yeah, check out the church someday. We're actually here at church on a Sunday.
We are.
Elysium Studios in Grand Junction, Colorado. It's pretty rad. My bosses are okay. Everybody else is awesome. RJ is the shit, and I look forward to his new therapy ranch, and I can't wait to see where it takes you.
We didn't talk about that, but yes, that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you're going to come to an action right horse.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you
I
so
appreciate
much.
you.
You're a great friend. And I want to say bye to everyone out there. I'm coming back to Montana. And yeah, thank you.